Right, morning traders. Happy Monday. Let's just make sure we are logged in here on the edgeful back end. Markets have been moving overnight quite a bit, so there's a little bit to speak about, and we will get into it. Andre is going to join us as well. But I hope that you guys are having a great start to the week. Let's get into it right now. So, as you can see, markets have gapped down quite a bit. Let's go like this. Get up the ES chart. So we gapped down to start the week, and I do want to speak about my trade on Friday. I think it's quite important to speak about too. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you guys can hear me and see me all good. But yeah, let's go to my NASDAQ trade. So after stream on Friday, I managed to find a nice short on the NASDAQ. So let's go to the 5-minute time frame. Okay. And what we can actually see from this is we were trading very much within the range. We had a massive sell-off on the Thursday. And on the Friday, we're trading where we were all on stream within this range. The stream ended over here. Okay, we end up breaking to the downside and everything on the edgeful screener. So if you aren't using the edgeful screener, make sure you are on there today. Everything was pointing that we still wanted to be looking for shorts. We break to the downside, get a pullback into that New York session VWAP and opening range low. And I find a short off of there. I took the short like this, like that. So I'll stop at the highs and end up getting out for a nice win. So that was my trade on the NASDAQ on Friday after stream. Unfortunately, during stream, we had massive chop, highs and lows, nothing that I wanted to be involved in. I waited for a break, and then I looked to get short from there. So that was Friday. Today, we have a gap up, but now everything's bouncing. The DAX gap down as well, and then ended up bouncing pretty violently throughout the day. We are actually from the lows up almost 500 points. What's up, Andre?
What's up, bro?
Yeah, I think it's check your mark.
Yeah. I think we're good, right?
No, it's echoey. Let's have a look.
Wonderful.
Just check.
How is that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's good. There we go. Yeah, so I was just speaking to the guys about the trade on Friday that I took. We obviously were very, very choppy while we were on stream. And then once stream ended, about 30 minutes afterwards, I ended up taking a nice short as we broke out of the lows there to that consolidation. I ended up getting the short to the downside. Why did you take the break at 11:20 versus 10:30? Good question. I never really liked taking the first break of the opening range. So the first break of the opening range with a clear body on the 5-minute time frame was this, as you said, 11:20 bar. I didn't like it. It was still in the chop. We came back to the highs, and that's why we get another break, a pullback, and then I take it. So I basically effectively take the third break. Just on a choppier day, I didn't want to take the first break to the downside. I hope that makes sense. But the edgeful screener was telling me to stay short bias, and that's what I did. So I think I did pretty well on that aspect. Pretty interesting this morning. The DAX, as I said, Andre, the DAX literally gapped down and then literally bounced, 500 points to the high side, bro. So, yeah.
Yeah. Let me get my screens up in a second. I just need to finish doing something, and I'll get them up in a second.
Yeah, all good. No, I'm running through the stuff with the guys. But yeah, what's in play? Let's have a look in the what's in play right now this morning. So I only got the two tickets, ES and NQ on this. And we still got 10 minutes to the market open. So we have to wait for that as well as the screener. I always look at the screen at least 30 minutes after the market open starts to give me a little bit of a bias, what we're looking for the day. And then we'll go from there. Any news on the cards this morning? We got ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and that's about it for today. It is NFP week as well. We got NFP on Friday, so keep that in mind too. We had FOMC last week, and most of the opportunities came after that as well. Any questions in the chat right now? What's up, Mark? Yep, we got a South African in the chat too. Good to have you on. My thought process was right now, just on ES, if I'm just looking at levels, I would like, if we are going to still stay short bias, okay, let's just clear these drawings. If we stay underneath 970, I'm still going to be looking for shorts. That is the sessions where we chopped that on Friday as well. I do have a nice payout coming. I think it's about 4.5, almost 5K with FTMO tomorrow. So that's nice to lock that in. I'll be trading some other accounts, other FTMO prop firm accounts and personal. And then obviously to the downside, we've already taken our previous day's lows. So extended market hours lows. So we are going to be watching that too. But I think the 900 level will be quite important as well from our side. And then again, someone was asking in the chat about the live stream schedule. If you join the edgeful Discord channel, make sure you are subscribed to us here. But bottom left-hand section, Discord channel, there is a live stream schedule. Someone was asking about pre-market streams. Pre-market is Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. And then we have live trading Monday through to Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So please make sure to stay on top of that as well. I do put all notifications there as well. Yeah, so that's just a little what I'm looking at this morning in terms of ES. I think if we hold underneath 970, call it, I think we could still see a move back down to the downside. Personally, we haven't taken our pre-market highs yet. NQ, very similar, trading underneath Friday's lows. YM, we have bounced quite a significant amount on YM, actually more than we actually green on the day on YM. We're actually going to be a gap up compared to NQ and ES.
Bro, I need to go get a sweatshirt. It is so cold in Miami right now.
Really? Dude, it's like...
I'll tell you, in Celsius.
Yeah, it's like 35 degrees Celsius. I think it's like 97, 98 Fahrenheit. I know.
It's 7 right now here. 7 Celsius, 45 degrees. And this morning it was 32. It was like 0 this morning.
Jeez, that's cold, bro. 0 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, here. Yeah, and apparently all the
that's wild.
All the iguanas are dying. Yeah, all the iguanas are dying. It's actually crazy.
We got a few South Africans in the chat. Definitely. What's up? Albino Pigeon. That's a funny name, bro. San Diego will be 80 degrees Fahrenheit today. Just saying. Yeah, that's also pretty warm.
80 is good. Yeah, it's freezing here. The iguanas are dying. I'm sure all the lizards are dying. They need the we got a foot of snow in Charlotte. That's crazy. Yeah, it's Miami held out on this like cold front that came, but I mean, it's hitting us now. It's absolutely freezing now. Oh, they're not dying. They're going dormant. They're just chilling. Wow, I didn't know that. I saw these videos of like all these iguanas just frozen on the street. I figured that they were dead. I need to go get a sweatshirt, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, all good, bro. Go get the sweatshirt. Keep warm. Okay, so as you can see, we got the market open 5 minutes time. I'm a bit indecisive here today, right now, where we're sitting. We are still trading underneath pre-market highs, and with the DAX bouncing quite violently, I do know that we could potentially see that as well. NVIDIA, however, all the Mag 7 stocks are trading lower. NVDA, Tesla, Apple, all down from Friday's close price. Okay, so that's obviously needs to be keep an eye on that. Cool. So I've got the 50-minute time frame, and I've got my high time frames here at the bottom. I am executing many of the 5-minute though. Yo, what's up, Dol? Oh, it is Dol. Yo. That's funny. Now it's in your proper name. There, got it. Okay, cool. So I just want to, if you are keen to come and check how I walk through like my main pre-market prep, I do stream those Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern time. As I said, join the Edgeful Discord. The live streaming schedule is all there. But what I always do every single morning is look for levels to trade off of. Okay, and right now on ES, we are bouncing, but Mag 7 stocks are down. Are we going to see a bounce off of those lows? It will be interesting. We did close on the lows on NQ on Friday. That's where I shorted at, right? Dill, if you go to the beginning part of the stream, I walk through my trade from Friday that I took after stream had ended because we were just so choppy for the first 2 hours. But you guys know that I love using the Edgeful data with the opening range and New York session open view app. So we chop around here in this area for about 2 hours. We finally break the lows, pull back, retest, and I get short on that 5-minute bar there and end up catching this nice little 100-point move to the downside. Okay. Nice little 100-point move on NASDAQ will pay very, very nicely if you can find one good trade a day. So how I'm seeing that NASDAQ is still trading pretty weak underneath previous day's lows. There's 4 levels that I think everyone should be watching at every single day. Previous day's lows and highs. Now I use the extended market hours and then pre-market highs and lows. So those 4. Previous day's highs and lows, pre-market highs and lows. You should be marking that on your charts every single day. Personally, that's what I do and what I think you guys should be doing as well. Any thoughts or questions in the chat? Bill, any questions? Cool. So we got the open now, less than 2 minutes time. Okay. As you can see, counting down. And we'll have a look at the what's in play as well as the screener to see what's setting up this morning. I think if you can just stay patient, not force anything.
So I realize I don't have any sweatshirts. The sweatshirts I wore
What's
this
the previous
weekend,
market day high and low indicator? Yeah. Say again.
and they're all in the wash because I live in Miami and I don't have sweatshirts. So
Yeah,
I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt.
So all of the Edgeful indicators, just with the previous day's highs and lows, you can get over here. But the one, if you want to use a free one, it's just called the.
I would actually use the. I would use the ultimate reversal setup one for previous day's range and previous close and the midnight open.
If you're wanting a free one, there's the free one up at the top that you can use over there. But the Edgeful's previous day's range, and then you can, as Andre said, the previous day's range one is over here, and then the ultimate reversal setup. Let's go invite only. Be under you, yeah. Ultimate reversal setup. There you go. Yeah. So as I was just saying about the levels to look at pre-market is the pre-market highs and lows and previous days highs and lows. Per for NQ is more likely to gap fill. Yeah, well, we can have a look at the stats now on that, but NQ will be about a point to the gap fill. It will be about a 0.38% gap down at the moment.
Dude, you're using the wrong gap fill level.
Look, there you go. There's the gap fill level. Sorry, I'm using the post-market hours gap fill. There you go. Well, what would it be? Still 0.4. Right? Is that that's the correct gap fill level, the one that I've got on the charts now, right?
You should put on the better one to use which the thing is, we are designing a lot of new indicators. We're improving a lot of them.
Sure.
But so many people have access to the old ones that like I personally don't really like that much. Like we have gap fill 2.0.
Is it the gap fill 2.0?
Yeah, like that
Yeah.
one that you just used is like whatever. But the gap fill 2.0 is much better.
Sure.
But if we remove the gap fill, the regular one, people are going to be upset. So like I don't really know what to do because like I don't want to just like take it away from people, but the 2.0 is way better.
Sure. So there is the gap fill. I mean, we've almost got the gap fill on NQ already. A gap fill is at 648, call it 646. ES would be at, ES is quite 965. Stocks are popping a little bit green here. Apple back in the green after gapping down.
Yeah, the outside days, bearish outside days on NQ reversed already. It was like literally in the first 1 second of the market open.
Yeah. So what the gap fill is, just for those that don't know, is let's just illustrate it like this. If price closes here on, let's just say a Monday, and we come into trade on Tuesday, and price opens up here at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, the gap fill will be the difference between the close price at 4 p.m. Eastern time and the open price the next day at 9:30. That is the gap fill, right? In the simple terms. Any thoughts your side, Andre, on what we could potentially see today?
Well, in a second, let me pull up my screen for a second, but okay. So in a second, NQ gap is going to fill, ES gap is going to fill, and what we're looking at here, if we go to the what's in play, and by the way, we loaded, so everyone has the ES NQ most popular. So everyone open your what's in play right now, open up the sidebar or go right over here to the template section at the top. What you're going to see, ES NQ most popular. This is preloaded, so we did this for you. So it preloads the most popular reports and ES and NQ, obviously. So what this does, and again, we are working on the load speed, but okay. So what you'll see, gap fill by weekday, NQ, gap down on Mondays, very strong, long bias. ES, gap fill by size, very strong, long bias. So looking here, I'm actually just going to go to the reports. And by the way, if you open up the view details, you can go directly to the report from here. So now I'm at the NQ gap fill by weekday report. 75% of gaps down on Mondays have filled on NQ. Now I go to ES. Let's check ES here. A little bit different story here for ES, which is actually interesting. 56% of gaps down have filled in the last 6 months on ES. Now, granted, one thing that's important to check is that there have been many more gaps up than gaps down. So there's only been 9 gaps down on Mondays in the last 6 months, and there's been 17 gaps up on Mondays. So that means that Monday opens above Friday's close. Specifically, the New York session close, not the daily close. That is an extremely important distinction. We have a very quick explainer video right over here on how sessions work. I highly recommend watching this if you trade futures. So I'm expecting price, at least on NQ, to touch right over here, this blue line. And again, this is the gap fill area. Now, if we go back to the what's in play. I'm going to go to completed here. Let me actually just check something quickly. Might not be in here. Okay.
I think
so what I was going to look for.
To
what's up?
Stocks are starting to flip green a little bit. Apple and then back green, but Tesla's down 3.5%. Tesla off all-time highs is down 16, 17%. That's yeah, but all three indexes now all green on the day. Flipped. Sorry, bro. Go ahead.
No, continue. I'm writing a message right now. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, I always say, so for those listening, I always say, you don't need to just jump into the first trade. Like, look at Friday, how I waited like 2.5 hours after the market opened before finding my sweet entry that I really do like, the break and retest of the orb. So, on a Monday, also, if we look at the reports on a Monday, let's just go to those reports going green and red day by weekday. Everyone always asks me, why do I look at like the last 3 months, last month? Because these things change, right? From time to time, like, markets change. And if we look at let's go to the reports. Look on a Monday here. Yeah, let's go like this.
By the way, gap filled
look on a Monday
ES
and
NQ.
Yep, both of them just filled. Yep. Look on the Monday, 65% of the time we have a bullish closing day, and even on NQ, okay, even NQ, we have 65.38 as well. So, both pretty solid closes for that stat. Yeah, gap fill both on NQ and ES. Jeez, we're ripping.
Yeah, I'm expecting, so the inside bar stats, so if we go back to the what's in play, by the way, guys, I always recommend, the way that I think about using edgeful is that you use the historical data to find what you like, and then you use, which is the reports, obviously, and then you use the what's in play in the screener to help you during your actual trading day. So the what's in play is something that you want to be looking at every morning to understand, like, what are the high probability trades that I should be taking now. So you can see that a lot of them are forming at the moment. You can see down here that 5 of them have completed. Gap fill on ES, gap fill on NQ, that's already done. And then these are the 3 that are key right now. So the filters that I do have a filter of 65% or higher. If you make this 50%, you're going to get a few more things in here. Now it's up to you on whether you want to include these or not, like as confluence. It doesn't really matter to me. I have the default set to 65%. I think it's a good benchmark to a good cutoff. Now, the inside bars for ES is going to be a very big play right now, because at the moment, previous day's high, Friday's high is 25 points away from current price. Previous day's low is 45 points away from current price. You want to expect one of these to break for sure. Why? Because of this right here. If we go to the view details, you're going to see for every day that opened within the range in the last 6 months, 84% of them has broken out, right? So if you open within Friday's range, let's look at this chart for a second. We have these 2 red lines. I'm going to show you here. Friday high. Friday low, right? We see price obviously opened between Friday's high and low. That is an inside day. That sets us up for this report to be in play. Inside bars. Of every time that this has happened in the last 6 months, 84% of the time, price has either done this or this or both. So while we're still in this range, you want to expect one of these sides to break. I hope that makes sense.
I'm familiar with gaps from currencies, but why do you guys personally look at gaps? So gaps happen more often in the stock market because you have a stock market open from 9:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern time, and then a break, and then again the next day opens at 9:30 a.m. So the difference between the gaps, that's basically why edgeful started, right? Andrew, you wanted to know the stats on those gaps being filled, right?
So
yeah,
why are gaps helpful? Hold on one second. Okay, so why are gaps helpful in trading? Gaps are helpful because number one, they form every single day. So you have something to reference every day. Other reports don't form every day. So in the case of understanding your bias, having something to lean on every day, a gap forms every day. Practically every single day in like the last, I don't know how many years, price is not going to open exactly at the previous closing price. On any day that doesn't do that, like today, price opened below the previous close, right? Here and here. There is a probability that price reverses to touch the previous close. And the edgeful report is what's going to tell you that. So we go to the gap fill report. You can see that gaps down on Mondays, 75% of them have filled. So what does that mean? Bullish bias targeting previous close. So every single day, no matter what the day is, no matter what the weekday, no matter what happens, you have a bias and a target. That's why I love the gap fill so much, because no matter what, I know how often price is going to get back to this area right here. And it's up to me to find the entry, and we have other reports that you can use to find the entry. But if there is a gap of 2%, I can go to the report and I can see gap fill by size is actually not likely to fill. If there's a gap that's small, I can see that I actually should be targeting this area. So if you're looking for price to flush this morning, because whatever happened over the weekend with all the crypto and everything else that was very extremely bearish, here's how exactly you could have known to not be bearish in the morning because of the gap fill. And that's exactly what happened here. We opened. Now, granted, it's not always going to be this clean. It's not always going to be like right at the open, prices are going to rip, whatever. Like, obviously not. But every day you give yourself a target and a bias. So most people are like, well, I'm bullish, but I don't know where to target. Or I have a target, but I don't really know what my bias should be. But in this case, you get both, and it happens every day. So you don't have to be guessing, like, should I be bearish because the weekend was bearish or whatever else? Like, you don't really want to do that. So that's why I like the gap fill. I always look at it. I always know where we are relative to the gap fill. And I just think it's something that everyone should be looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, Wime's now, geez, look at that wick on Wime. Wime's now taking our previous day's highs. I mean, right now, from the pre-market to where we are right now, it's a 700-point range on Wime.
Yeah, it's a lot.
My main thing for this week, my main work on for this week, Andre, is to stay focused on trading in line with the screener, bro.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
keep it simple, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's no opinions there. I mean, you don't always have to go with the screener exactly, but like understanding that, okay, this is something that's like everything is leaning bullish or everything is leaning bearish. Like, that's, if you're going to fight it, it has to be a scalp. Or it doesn't have to be anything, but like it probably should be a scalp for most people.
Yeah. It shouldn't be trying to hold for the whole direction, because we know the probabilities of us finishing in line with that bias is pretty strong.
Exactly. And that's
Another
not our
easy
opinion too.
way.
That's so important.
Yeah. And I want to show that that opening candle continuation report. So we get that up over here. So look at that. So this is just an easy way how you can actually use the edgeful screener and data. Go to that opening candle continuation over there. Let's just get this up there. So if you look at this and you look at NASDAQ, right, in the last 6 months, that first hour is bullish from opening at 9:30 and closing at 10:30. If it's bullish, you want to be looking for longs. If it's bearish, look for shorts. 79.71% of the time, the first hour closes green, your close is a bullish closing day, and vice versa for the short, 76% of the time. So, you can even look in the last 2 years on that. Like, look at this. Probably still around the same percentages. 79 and 73. I mean, that's great edge,
Yeah, it's the one thing about looking that far back, which everyone should be careful of, is what happens is it's a blend of every day. Obviously, it just checks every single day, and then you start blending every day. So you're taking out, you're theoretically like removing the extremes from the report, which is fine. But what happens is, like, if you look over 5 years, what you'll see, let's just say, like, I'm making it up, but like it's 70%. But throughout that 5-year period, maybe it goes up to 85, and then there's also periods where it's at 55. So if you look at just 5 years flat, you're not going to get where we are now within this, like the wave of where price move, or where not price, where the results move. So it's just important to look at the recent data as well, because you don't want to fixate too much on stuff that's further back, because the further back you go, the smaller the relevant sample size becomes. Correct. So it's like, what you want to do, let's just pretend that you're trying to see if there's you're trying to measure for like poison in your pool, right? If there's poison in your pool, it's not, or like, let's just say in your bathtub. If there's poison in your bathtub, you take a scoop of water and you test it, it's very likely that you're going to see if there's poison or not. You do the same thing in a lake, it's going to be really hard to tell if there's poison in the lake, because there's such a big sample size that you're looking for, and you're looking at something that you want to be concentrated in, like, now. So the current market environment, what you're looking for would theoretically be the poison there, and then the look back window is the size of the body of water that you're looking at. So if you do it if you're checking in a smaller sample size, you're going to get a lot more of what's happening now. If you check in a much bigger one, you might not get exactly what you need from that.
Yeah.
Let me know if that makes sense.
That's why I look at more recent ones as well. It was always changing.
Wow, we're getting a serious push here.
Yeah, NASDAQ. We've got the opening range set now too.
I'd like to find some sort of like long entry here, so we can see the orb is actually pretty big here, 0.75 on NQ, 0.5 practically on ES. That is a pretty big orb, to be honest. And you just want to make sure that you're accommodating that, because that means that there is obviously a little bit more volatility in the morning. So you just want to make sure that you're aware of the orb size. It's something I look at all the time, but I'm not really sure how to like correlate that to something else just yet. That's something I'm looking into. And also something else that I was thinking about is what I was talking about on stream on Friday when we had our little party with like 4 of us. But
yeah.
I'm really thinking about how do I determine choppy days before they happen? Like, what is the criteria of a choppy day? And how do we quantify that so we can build a feature in Edgeful that pretty much gives a score on how choppy something is? Like what or how choppy today is likely to be. So what are the conditions that most often lead to a choppy day? And that's what I want to know, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. I actually have a task for myself to figure that out.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it would be really helpful, to be honest, for a lot of people to, if we built that out. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, would you, I mean, obviously, I'm assuming nobody would be like, nah, I wouldn't use that. Look at this.
Well, I spoke about it on Friday's stream as well, about we were trading between previous days' highs and lows, right?
By the way, guys, yeah. By the way, guys, well, James, I understand that, but look at today.
Like, I know, but we broke out of, yeah, but we broke out of previous days' range today on ES.
Not yet.
No, on the extended market hours. See, that's why I use extended market hours.
Bro. Okay, so you're saying that Sunday night broke the Friday's
yeah,
daily.
well, yeah, let me go to my charts over here. So why I've always used extended market hours is because I know, like, outside of market hours, there could be institutions placing, you know, they're getting their positions in, right, just before market close. And the reason why I'm always using extended market hours, I do think that the pre-market and post-market do play a part. Obviously, most of the volume's coming from the regular market hours, but look at ES. So we've already broken through previous days' lows over here, Friday's lows. Whereas on Friday, right, we stayed completely within the previous day's highs and lows, if you can see that. We didn't even break it once, not even on that drop down. So for me, that just signals that, okay, today could be a little bit more choppier on that asset. That's why, like, even NASDAQ, we're getting a lot of volume because we've already, maybe some traders pre-market here have tried to chase shorts over here because we've taken out the previous day's lows from extended market hours. See how we've already taken it out.
So I have a question now.
Yeah.
Are you saying that if the overnight session broke out of the previous day's range, then the New York session will not be choppy?
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. No, I don't know.
Yes.
I'm not. I've never looked at that.
Yeah.
So I will look at it.
I want you to have a look at it. So if the pre-market takes out, like, the previous day's highs and lows, but pre-market, right, before market open.
If the pre-market takes out the New York session or any price action from yesterday.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
The range, high or low, whenever.
The range, high and low, from the pre-market and post-market from the previous day. Correct. If we take it out, we could potentially see a lot more movement. But obviously, that also could go into, like, even on Thursday, I shorted the Dow. But look how we take out NASDAQ. We take out those the extended market hour lows, and we just fly. I like using the extended market hours highs and lows, but it doesn't necessarily have to be pre-market. It could be even into the open, like we do on Thursday. Like, look, we just take out those lows, guys, and we just tank.
Sorry, James. We do have data in 6 minutes. We have ISM, so please be careful if you're in a trade, ISM, just so you know. I just wanted to highlight that, but continue. And I see there's a comment here about if London was directional, New York will be directional. I don't know if Asia matters. We do have the market session correlation report, and we do have the market session breakout report. Pretty much the market session correlation says if London is green, how often does New York close green? If London is red, how often does New York close red? So Faye, Marie, right? I think.
Marie. Yeah, Marie.
I would say to check those out and watch the videos on those. Market session breakout, market session correlation. Now, wow, this price action is like kind of Marie. Okay, perfect. Great, Marie. Yeah, those two are actually really helpful. And you can look at London. You can look at Asia and London, London and New York, and Asia and New York. So you can look at those. But
that's just what's worked for me, Andrea. Like obviously you love the traditional market hours, but it's what works for everyone. That's just what I found to deem myself as a choppy day. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Which is what I mean, that's totally fine. Like there's no right way to do it. That's why I'm asking you guys. So one thing about, I see Mark with the comment about POC. The extremely difficult thing about market profile, volume profile, is that every platform calculates it differently. It's extremely annoying and extremely difficult to get a uniform method of calculating. So if you go on TradingView and you look at yesterday's point of control, yesterday's value area high, low, and then you go to Thinkorswim or you go to whatever, name the platform. None of them are going to have the same price of the value area high. They might be off by a couple points. They might be whatever. Like that is a problem for us because we actually tried to build a report on market profile and there's no consistency across the platform. So like if we calculate it one way and then the platform you use is calculating a different way, like obviously you can't use that then. But we don't know how everyone is calculating it. So that's the difficult part. However, I am interested to see how price reacts off this orb high here, because I am pretty interested in something here, which is nice. It's kind of like falling in line with. I'm pretty interested in this. I like that it's kind of coinciding with the orb high here. If we get a little bit of a retest and a hold, that would be interesting here.
Yeah, 2 minutes till news now.
Yeah, ES seems to be stronger, but yeah, I'm not taking no trades yet, but ES seems to be stronger here. I am interested in longs overall. Going to the what's in play now. This is key here. This is key. James and I talk about this a lot. Green and red days by weekday. The what's in play is going to be, so just for anyone who just joined, everyone who has an edgeful sub, go to your what's in play here. Left sidebar, go to your what's in play. Click on this template. We added to everybody's account ESNQ most popular. Click on that. Everything here and down will automatically populate for you, so you don't have to go and like decide on anything. You just click on this. We'll load everything in for you. This is very important. ES, green and red days by weekday, 73% of the time on Mondays, price has closed green. The data is right here. The bias is long. Overall, my bias for today is a long bias for sure. Now, depending on how this data comes out in the next 40 seconds, perhaps I'm going to take a long on NQ. If we look at, oof, this is not what I was wanting. This is not what I wanted to see. Okay, so that is not what I wanted to see at all for the longs here. NVDA, new low of day, Meta, new low of day, Tesla with a strong reversal off of 420. Apple at high of day, Broadcom chopping. So really the only thing that's pushing is Google and Apple, which is not great.
And Amazon.
And Amazon. And there is the data. Give it a second. I would love if Meta and NVIDIA would kind of bounce. Tesla rolling over 2, not ideal. So I am going to be a little bit more patient with this because I could very easily see like this slipping back into the orb a little bit more aggressively, just considering what's going on here. Overall, my bias is absolutely still going to be bullish because of Mondays, depending. Now we still have 30 minutes until the IB, the opening candle, everything else. So that's going to change. It could change a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just something I do look on the screener though. If you come to the, let's just wait for this to load. There you go. So if I go like this and you look at the edgeful screener, what I do is I actually change this to the first 30 minutes. After the first 30 minutes has played out, then start to just get a little bit of a grasp. And you can see today, majority of the data is leaning long.
While you explain this, I'm going to get another coffee.
Of the time. Yeah. You can see 46% of the data is favoring the longs. I do prefer the opening candle continuation to be on for 1 hour. But after the first 30 minutes, I do have a look at this just to see what potentially could be setting up. Obviously, you won't have the RB and everything yet, but it is setting up potentially for longs today, predominantly on the screener. So something maybe like this on NQ where we get a move back and then we can take the retest. ES as well, potentially the same. YM getting a little bit of a flush back down now. So, you know, something like this on YM as well, something like that. We could be watching. Any questions in the chat? Dill, you have any questions? So yeah, as I said, that's what I do like to do after the first 30 minutes, just to gauge where we are, right?
Look at those longs that I missed.
Yeah, yeah, you have to be quick on that scalp on the 1 minute. Yeah, off the opening range high, 748, up 40 points right now.
Unbelievable.
So you would take like a little bounce off like that, up 40 points.
This was something like this. Yeah, for new high of day, 65 points. Honestly, like, I would never do this. But maybe like, if I go to a higher time frame here, like probably something around here, expecting some sort of reaction over here from that garbage trash that we had earlier Friday morning. But yeah, new high of day for sure. 10 a.m. candle, but even you said it in your videos. What do you mean? Buy it, trade it. Yeah, I always do check. I mean, I like to understand like what's going on, but to be honest, like I think the longs were pretty risky here at NVIDIA low of day, Meta low of day, Tesla with like a strong reversal, Broadcom chopping, Google and Apple are the ones that are pushing, and Amazon, but it was a riskier trade. The risk reward was like not horrible though, for especially to new high of day, like almost a 2-to-1. The 10 a.m. to watch for the direction of that candle. I talk about the opening candle continuation report. which is the color of the first hour. Dude, what a trade I missed, huh?
Yeah, that would have been have to be a quick scalp on that for sure. But you'd be up like 70 points right now. Jeez, it just shows you also the VIX is also trading down now today, 3%. So normally when the VIX is up, stocks down, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Tesla now bouncing off of those lows. Tesla's trying to bottom out here.
Yeah, this, so what I was explaining, guys, before, inside bars, right over here, right? ES, the highest percentage of any report, God damn it. The highest percentage of any report is the inside bars. And what do we have? What's about to happen right now? We are going to take Friday's high.
Andre, if you could give some advice to someone that's been struggling at trading for, like 8 or 9 years and hasn't really made any money from it, what would your advice be?
Well, there is Friday's high, by the way, but one of the things that I would say is that, number one, most of people are sizing way too big. Like almost universally, people are using way too much size. And when you use way too much size, what happens is you start to get really nervous. You're like, oh, I'm going to risk $3,000 on this trade.
Sure.
And you don't actually want to lose the 3K, right? So then once price starts to go against you, you're like, well, I don't actually want to lose the 3,000. Like, what if it actually hits my stop loss? And then I'm down 3K. And what happens is you close the trade. When you close the trade, you don't give the trade the room to breathe because nobody's a sniper. Nobody's going to know, like, trades like this don't happen, right? This type of trade does not happen. Like zero drawdown trades, like it doesn't, what I mean by it doesn't happen is like it's super rare. Like this trade that I was looking for before, like I was not going to take that for whatever reasons. But
sure,
when you use too much size, it starts to get in your head too much and you interfere and you don't let you don't let your trades play out. Whether you're using the edgeful reports or not, you can't let your trade play out. People are going to trade NQ with a 10-point stop and wonder why they can't make money. It's just like there are wicks on NQ that are more than 10 points. Like it'll never work. And the only reason you are setting a 10-point stop is because you're using too much size. Because if you're going to risk whatever, if you're going to risk like 40 points, you need to use a couple micros in order to be able to actually afford a 40-point stop loss. Now, the other side is most people, yeah, exactly, here. Most people are literally just winging it. Like when I say winging it, like I mean, they walk into the market and they're like, I think price should go up. There is this high that was made on Friday, and I think price is going to get to this high. I think that price is going to sweep this area. Like that's how people they put real money behind that. And when you do that
without even data,
and it's not even like I know a lot of people that make money trading discretionarily, purely discretion, purely based on whatever like their gut feel says, on their experience, on their intuition. That is extremely rare to be able to do that, to actually consistently make money based on like your stomach. Like it's not something, it's the same thing as saying like, whatever, like LeBron James is a genetic freak. Like you can't be LeBron James. Like, no, it doesn't matter what you say. Like, it doesn't matter. Like he's a genetic freak. That puts him in the position. If he was 5'8", he would not be LeBron James, period. So there are people that could do it, but if you want to make your life a lot easier, you need to understand like what is the probability of price getting to these levels. Like I told you before, gap fill on ES, very high probability. I told you price breaking out of Friday's high or low, very high probability. I told you that Mondays are bullish. Look what's happening. I'm not some sort of fortune teller. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know what happens consistently over time because I'm using the data to inform my trades, right? I am not a fortune teller. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to predict exactly where price is going, but when I see ES, Mondays are green 70 something percent of the time. Gaps down fill 70 something percent of the time. Price breaks out of previous day's range 80 something percent of the time. What are we going to do? We're going to be using those levels, obviously, right? And if you're not, I mean, you're stacking the odds against yourself. Like, I don't really know how else to explain it, to be honest. Like, it is so much harder to understand what's happening if you're not using data, because at the end of the day, the market has patterns and your eyeballs are not going to be able to identify what they are. You need something to be able to like measure objectively every time, like what's happening right now. And from there, you make the informed decision. You use your subjective criteria to enter the same way that I do, the same way that James does on stream. And that's what you do.
Yeah.
But you don't wing it because you are not going to, it's just too difficult, to be honest. Like, it's too hard to just be like, well, I think price is going to go up. Like, it's just, it's, James, you might appreciate this example.
Sure.
Imagine you've never watched a golf video in your life. You don't have a coach. You've never seen anyone swing a club ever in your life, not once. Now I can give you a club and be like, hit this ball onto the green. Now you can figure it out. If you want to waste all this time, if you want to potentially try to figure it out on your own, you could do it, right? If you give someone enough time, I'm sure they'll figure out how to swing it properly and actually hit the ball onto the green. Or you can get a coach, you can watch videos, you can understand the mechanics that the pros use, and you can expedite your learning curve by 1000x. But most people want to go in to the course, to the driving range, with no coach, with no inspiration, with no form mechanics whatsoever, and they're just going to start swinging at the ball. Like, yeah, maybe you could figure it out, but you're probably not going to. And you're probably going to quit before you get to the point where you can even have a chance to be good. And that's the same thing for the data. Treat the data, treat a tool like edgeful, treat like having data in your trading as a coach, right? Like as a basketball coach, as a golf coach, as a Mark, if you're still watching, you know. You teach people the mechanics because you know what works, and you're going to help them avoid the common mistakes that everyone else makes. That's the same thing here. Like people going short because the overnight session was bearish. They're like, oh, retest of previous day's low, continuation to the downside. I would love to know how many people today were like, well, crypto's falling, I'm going to expect price to fall today.
Yeah.
Everything on edgeful is screaming bullish.
Yeah.
Literally everything on edgeful is screaming bullish right now. I've spoken about it since for 45 minutes about all the bullish targets, and everything is going up. And how many people are getting short? How many people got short at Friday's low? It's just because they don't have the information. Like they just don't have the data. Now, the only trade that I find it extremely difficult to enter on a day like this. This was the entry, in my opinion. This was the trade. It was definitely a higher risk trade, but you also don't normally get moves like this. You don't get a 130-point move of practically 13 green candles or whatever, 11 green candles in a row on a 1-minute chart. Like that doesn't normally happen, but usually you get some sort of pullback, which would have been great if we did here, but like at least I'm not going short because I know the data is bullish. How's that, James?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I think no. The reason I asked it because I just spoke to a friend earlier today, and he's been trading for 9 years and hasn't seen any progress. And I think obviously everyone's different, but I think if you, as you said, like it's funny you mentioned that about crypto's going down, I'm just going to short it. I had someone message me in my DMs today saying that they messed up one of their prop firm accounts that was due for a payout because they just went and shorted gold because they thought it was just going to continue lower. Like that's like. It's just not a good enough answer, you know?
Also, in addition to that, imagine that you are trading not even $1 billion. Imagine that the money in your account, whether it's a prop firm or not, you're running a hedge fund. And imagine you have to justify all of your trades to your investors. You can't just wing it and be like, well, imagine you lose $20 million and your investors call. Why did we blow our fund? Well, crypto was going down. I thought gold was going to go down. And that's the answer. Like I would assume honestly that like you can get like sued for that. But that's how people treat their normal accounts. Like people treat their own money like that. But like you can't do that. Like you can't do that. Like there has to be a reason. Like every time I show you guys something, I'm like, this is the report that's going to tell me what I'm going off of. Now, if I went short and I lost, but I had inside bars, I had whatever, I had 1 report, 2 report, 3 report, 4, 5 reports that are like, hey, today was a short bias. There was some catalyst in the news. Price skyrocketed. We lost a lot of money, poor risk management, whatever, but the trade idea was sound. That's fair. You can do that. So,
yeah, I mean, I know a guy that runs a fund as well. Like he has to give explanations of why he's taking positions in his fund.
Yeah,
you can't just,
of course,
blindly go and buy a certain stock. Just he thinks it's going up because some guy on Twitter said so.
Exactly.
Yeah. So ES now is actually double broken the previous day's highs and lows from extended market hours on Friday. But Friday was a tighter range, albeit on ES. I mean, we literally had a 60-point range on ES during the extended market hours, and during the regular market hours, it was literally like 50. So we have broken that. But again, like I think just going back to also, like this is another great example, Andre, that as well, like let's remove your screen here. Let's go like this. Like look at this report over here. This is a very simple report, but I love to show it and look at it every single week. The volume and range by weekday. Many traders come into the week, dig themselves in a hole that they can't get out of, and then they take poor setups towards the end of the week. Look how the volume on ES, this is on ES in the last 6 months. Look how the volume increases as the week continues. If you just stayed more patient and even flat, like you don't need to trade every single day to make money trading.
Yeah.
If you just stayed more patient and picked up your great entries where there's more volume in the market Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you'll be fine. Like look at last week. If you just traded after FOMC, bro, you'll probably be fine, because the volume came in after FOMC.
Yeah, I mean, also people want to trade FOMC because they see other people like making whatever 1,000x on like options trading FOMC, but it's super risky. Like it's so hard to make money on FOMC days.
I don't want to act them, but I know someone that literally, I think I spoke about it on Friday. I know someone that blew 12 accounts in 26 minutes on FOMC, prop firm accounts.
God. It's sad, dude. Like it really is. It really is.
It is sad, bro.
I mean, like, yeah, it's easy to like point and laugh at someone like that, but like, you don't like that guy he probably had a horrible day and weekend. And like, when you do that, like after the fact, when you're like trying to like dig yourself out of that hole, like when you do that and you're just like sitting there, like, I can't believe I did that. Like that sucks. But the other side, wow, that long trade would have been like absolutely like unreal. But
jeez, dude, Yeah. Nasdaq. So I mean, but these are the days I'm fine with not trying to chase anything either. But I mean, Tesla and NVDA are coming to lows.
Now,
that scalp of the opening range high was probably the one.
Yeah, for sure. One thing about, and I think that everyone, whether you traded the prop firm or not, everyone should just hear me out for like the next minute and a half while I explain this. Everybody has a point where you start trading and you don't listen to your rules and you lose money and you lose money and you lose money until you've had enough breaking your rules. Like there's a point where you lose enough money to where you're like, enough is enough.
Yeah.
I'm not breaking my rules anymore. Or you'll never stop 100% breaking your rules, but the difference between you as a trader on month 1 versus like month like 36, the amount of times that you break your rules is like 99% less. Everyone has a dollar amount that they get to where they're like, enough is enough. I can't keep breaking my rules. Like I've just spent so much money. I've lost so much money doing dumb things that I have to stop. And once you get to that point, that's when you actually start to build your way to profitability. But before that point, if you're like, yeah, whatever, I've only lost $1,000 or like I've only lost $500, like not a big deal, not the end of the world, you haven't lost enough money. Like there is going to be a point where you're like, I'm so unbelievably annoyed that like it enrages you to the point where you're just like, how do I keep doing this? And then only at that point, you're like, all right, I'm taking this seriously. And that number could be $500. It could be $10,000. It could be $50,000. There are people that I've spoken to, they sign up to Edgeful. They're like, listen, this is a long time ago. I used to get on calls with like 2 years ago, I would get on calls like practically all of the users at the time. But I had a guy that lost multiple 6 figures in his first year trading. And he was like, I'm signing up to Edgeful because I'm done. Like I've had enough. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to like mess around anymore. I'm taking this seriously. And then from there, he made the change. And from there, he started making money, but only after he lost multiple 6 figures, which everyone has a different number. Like everyone has a different threshold, and the threshold doesn't actually matter, but that's the key. Good times with an Andre Zoom.
Good times with
Mark and I have been on a lot of calls, which is awesome. Mark, it's great to have you in here. But this has been, I'm even looking back, just to talk about this trade for a second, looking back, there was no way that I would have taken this trade going into data while NVIDIA was at new low of day, Meta was at new low of day, and Tesla was hard reversing off of 420 down $3 in one candle. Broadcom was sitting mid-range, like dead center on the range, and only Google, Apple, and Amazon were pushing. Like I was not going to take that trade. Now I should have, obviously, but yeah, my trading style, I'm not, James, I thought this was more your trading style, entering on continuation.
It was, bro. It definitely was, but I'd have to be quite quick with that because I would be buying it quite high, right? Like we had bounced quite a bit pre-market as well on ES or NQ. It definitely would be my style. I would like to have got in. So we broke the opening range like this, break the opening range high, we pull back. That would have been my entry. But also, like we did just have news as well, like a minute prior. So I was a bit cautious, and that caused me to miss that pop there. This would be the move. This is my best trade. when we break, the data is telling me long, we break opening range high, we pull back into it, come literally bounce off of it, and then that move higher. But we had just had news, you know, I was a bit more skeptical of that personally.
Yeah, I like personally for me, I could not do something like this. Like I would not do that. Like a new high, like I can't enter long at a new high of day. Like it's just not like it.
Yeah.
I can't do that. But I know a lot of people that do, and today would have been great, but I like to enter on like a pullback into a zone, into a level, into whatever. Like I had plotted this out prior to, I don't know, you guys can rewind, but prior to this move. And this is I mean, to be honest, like looking back, this is like an A+ trade. And what I probably should not have done is weighted this, and this too much into the trade, because this was like strong. So it's Monday, gap down, and strong push up. The orb forms, breaks out of the orb, retests the orb high. There's a little consolidation area right over here that also coincides really nicely with the orb high. So you have a really strong level to, like, you're a really strong support to get long for continuation. Honestly, I would have targeted new high of day and also this psychological 25,800 even level. I would have taken the majority of the profits off here. I would not have expected this move because price already broke previous day's low. So the inside bar stats do not apply to today. They apply on ES, but they don't apply on NQ because price opened outside of yesterday's range today. So me targeting Friday's high is not a valid target. Very key here.
By the way, we do have the RB setting up in the next 3 minutes. I'm okay with, again, like Andre, I've got a payout coming out on one of my accounts, so I trade quite a few prop firm accounts as well as my personal accounts. I'm okay with not having to jump in. You know, in January, I started off a little bit on the down though, trying to just jump in. I don't need to do that, right? I'm okay with sitting on my hands. Like we did on Friday. If you go back and watch Friday's stream, none of us took a trade. We literally just sat there chilling and creating entertainment before I got the shorts, like literally an hour after stream, and that's okay.
Yeah, I actually thought that the stream on Friday was really great, even though we didn't take a trade. And today we haven't either. Like I would have loved. I mean, I hope someone took this. I mean, I hope someone took the longs here. Again, let me just refresh here.
So we're starting to flatten out a little bit on ES and NQ as well. So,
like, could this be? I mean, now, Keith, if you want to reach out to our support here, please do. But you can send us a request to build the custom sessions right over here. So for anyone watching, just so you know, you can request, as part of the edgeful plan, you can request custom reports. So like we have the gap fill, opening candle, continuation, orb. You can reach out here. You can request a custom trading view indicator. You can request a specific feature, right? Like, hey, I'd really love if you guys had something that does this right over here. So let us know what you guys want here. And if there's ever any bugs, like if you guys are experiencing the slow load time, please send us a message for the bug report and let us know that you can, like, that you're like, hey, this is taking really long to load, because I don't know if it's just me or I don't know if it's like whatever. But if you guys are experiencing slow load time, just create a bug report and we'll look into it, obviously. Like if there's any pages that it's on specifically or whatever, I would really appreciate if you guys can submit that request here if you guys are experiencing slow load times. But yeah, you guys can request custom things. So keep that in mind here. Now, the longs, the IB just set.
Yeah. So that would have
pretty good. So
let's refresh the page.
So we have the low, obviously the low formed first here.
Yeah.
On NQ, we're 55 points from the high. On ES, we're 11 points from the high. What could be good, thing is this is not like enough of a consolidation, but this little consolidation above Friday's high to go for one of these. Now we do want to expect price to break that IB high here. But the thing is the risk to reward is like really, like there's no valid stop loss here. So I don't know. You gotta be kind of careful with the entry. Now this could be another perfect setup again, but I don't know. I think that we need to, I would like to see a little bit more of a pullback here.
Look at this screener, bro. This is what I love about the edgeful. Like that clearly tells me I want to stay long bias today. So don't entertain anything short. If I do, it has to be very quick. If I'm wrong, I need to get out quite quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow, if this is going to happen again, if I'm going to not take this trade again and it's just about to happen right now, I'm going to be really not happy. Oh, awesome. VWAP sweet. I'm happy you like it. Dude, off of this level again, like what is happening right now? Like it's already up 8 points pretty much from this. I need to see before I take this trade.
What is this? I actually need, why did okay, I went off this weekend. Let's go like this. VWAP suite. There we go. Yeah, the VWAP indicator. There we go. I can actually turn them off.
Okay. Now I'm looking here for some sort of consolidation, something here to understand. To take along somehow to target the IB high.
Yeah, look at this. So we got the VWAP suite over here. I like how that you changed the name to the VWAP. So you got the New York Open, shows you how many points you're above daily, and then the weekly. And you can all change it in the back end over here, right? And then you can have a custom one as well. The custom one you would have to pin it to, you would have to pin this, right?
Let me see. What was that?
The custom VWAP, you would have to pin it.
Yeah, you can swap over to inputs on the top left of that.
Yeah. Yep.
No, click out of that. Right below, you see where it says down, 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 up, up. You see the date? Down. Right there.
Yes. Yes, you can. There you can change it there.
Yeah, so you pick the date and the time and it anchors to that candle.
Sure, got it. Yeah, that's
so you can do. So let me pull up my screen. I'll show you guys how it works.
Yeah.
God,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
I am going to be not happy if this just rips again. A 0 drawdown long trade. that I didn't take. Okay, so let's go to NQ. Why is this? Yeah, you can use anchored VWAP. It's a very similar thing. Okay, so let's say here, what are these? Okay, all-time highs of January were right here. Or sorry, all-time highs of 2026 were right over here. So let's say now I have what's it called here? January 20. What is it? The 28th. January 28th is the all-time high at 1:30 p.m. So 13:30. What am I doing here? Was that 1:30 a.m.? Yeah, it's 1:30 a.m. Here. Now you can see this vertical line, which is the anchor, is anchored to the all-time high of 2026. We just, right now, reclaimed the VWAP that's anchored to all-time high in the last 30 minutes. So now you can see if we go here, I'm going to say all-time. Now you can see we have the all-time high VWAP, which is the purple. We have the New York session, which is the green. And then we have the weekly, which is the orange. So the weekly and the daily right now are the same because obviously it's Monday.
Yeah, so you just go in the back end and select the time and day that you want.
Yeah, that's it. You just pick the time and day, and once you select it, you can leave it. So like if you want it to be to all-time high, you can, or if you want it to be to like whatever this week's low, you also can. So if you want to anchor it to this week's low, I would just click, right? You click on it once. Now that indicator is selected, you can see this vertical line appear. Now I'm going to move this to the low of this week, right? This was the overnight low. Now we have it right over here, the purple line. So it's the same as anchor. It is an anchored VWAP, but you just get the dashboard here with it. And you can also remove the above or below because obviously the green means it's above and the red would mean it's below. But yeah, so yeah. Wow, another zero drawdown trade here that I didn't take. So that sucks. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do about that. Wow, this is actually like hard to believe that it's pretty rare, honestly, that I call like 2 trades to this precision. Like, I don't know if I've done that in a long time, but like, I should have just taken these, to be honest. Like, we're 1.5 points away from the target here, a 13-point trade. That's a mistake. Well,
yeah, now the high. Back to the highs, bro. Jeez.
There's the IB stat. There's the, I mean, I don't even know. Like IB by rejection is there now. You can see all of these are bullish. IB by rejection. You can see. So NQ is about to take out the high. It's 8 points away on NQ. It's like practically nothing. So there is the high there. And we just missed another A+ trade. Or I did at least.
Yeah, but these are quick trades that you'd have to take. I mean, you're buying it quite high as well, right?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, they're nice.
This is like the cleanest price action I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, It is. You don't want to be short in this, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, not ideal for not ideal. Calling out good trades, but the risk to reward on the second one didn't make sense. The risk to reward could have been super tight. Like, I'm not taking a trade on ES with a 2-point stop. Like, that's ridiculous.
No.
Like, maybe I would have done like a 5-point stop, but the thing is, if price flushed below this Friday's high, like I could have easily seen it come down here and then start to consolidate back in this range. And I'm not risking 12 points on ES now. Like at this point, especially being long after a move of 63 points. I'm not going to get long at the high with no clear stop. Like there's too much space here. There's too much space here for me because this is not a big enough consolidation for me to set a valid stop off of. Like I'm not setting a 2-point stop, but I'm also not setting a 12-point stop, which would be like, okay, maybe this high can serve as some sort of support again. Like I'm not doing that. Like I would have rather entered here looking for something like this. But it just bounced off of Friday's high, which is fine. It's just about like finding that entry like today has been a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But again, here, like this on NQ might give us an opportunity to say, like, could we get an entry here? But now the problem is, now this is where your subjective criteria needs to come in. My problem is how much. Let me just pull this up.
How much does it pull back? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah. How much does it pull back? Because the high didn't get taken here on NQ. So I didn't take the long here. I didn't take the long here. Now I'm obviously looking for a long because all the data is telling me long. But here, if I'm going to use this as the entry, right? This little consolidation here as the entry, this little area of demand, granted it's on a 1 minute, and I get stopped out here, I'm going to be pretty annoyed. Personally, for me, I'm going to be pretty annoyed if I were to take this after missing 2 A+ trades. Both had 0 drawdown, both had perfect targets hit, and I get stopped out on the 3rd attempt. Like I'm going to be pretty annoyed. So personally, I'm being like very weary right now of the trade that I'm taking. Like if I'm going to take anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez, that was a massive move though. This is a little bit of a tough one. I think the first trade after the news was a bit better, right?
Yeah.
Any questions in the chat right now? We are coming off of these highs. As you said, it's probably the cleanest price action. NVIDIA and Tesla still red on the day though. Well, if they start to come around, that could definitely flush off these highs. Yeah, I like that VWAP suite, bro. It's very nice.
Good. It's we just want to make things that people use. That's the key. That's the important thing. We want to make things that people use, that people like, that make your lives easier, that allow you to. What I think about charting is people spend so much mental capital trying to chart that I want to build the indicators to take that mental capital and have people reallocate that to executing the trades,
Correct.
to reading the price action, not to being like to drawing lines and whatever else. Like, I don't want people to be burning their mental capital on drawing lines. That's what the indicators are for. So one thing that you'll notice is that none of our indicators have like buy or sell signals or anything like that. They're all levels based. They're all convenience based. They're all plotting sessions. They're plotting highs and lows. They're plotting previous days highs and lows, previous closes, midnight opens, all of these things that like you shouldn't be thinking about. Are we above or below the previous close? Are we outside of yesterday's range? I should have it plotted correctly for me every single time. And also the other thing is that like someone like James, if he says previous day's high, he's referring to the daily session. The edgeful report is referring to the New York session. So if you're on stream watching James and he's like, oh yeah, the previous day's low is at 25,400. That's not the previous day's range that the edgeful report is mentioning. That's why I use the indicator to properly plot the correct levels. He has a different trading style, but if you're going to use the reports, you have to use them correctly. Obviously, you need to reference the correct levels, or else you're not using the data correctly. And that's why correlating the reports with the indicators is really important to us. And we're actually going to be putting a lot more effort into building more education around the indicators. So obviously, like, we don't have a place right now where you guys can go to just like learn about them. So we're working on that.
Yeah. Any other questions in the chat though? Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channels that you are watching this on right now. Obviously, we have live streams literally every single day. So make sure you put the notifications bar on too, right? Yeah, I think this where we're sitting at right now is going to be quite tricky to try and get another long, right?
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, look how we're starting to come down now off these levels on previous days' highs. We have seen this. I saw this last week where or was it 2 weeks ago, where we rose up, hit previous days' highs, and then actually reversed off of them, right?
1 sec. I'm just trying to do something here.
You're good. How's your month? How was?
Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to finish writing this message.
Oh, good. I think I was actually lagging out there. Can you can hear me now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just Yeah, you're good. You were lagging out, but I just want to write this one.
Yeah.
I just want to finish this, and I'm gonna.
South African Wi-Fi, bro.
Dude, I know. I'm just. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, I was asking in the chat there, Jason.
Right.
How was January for you? Yeah, what you been cooking there, bro?
Dude, improvements, bro. Improvements on the app. Improvements.
Nice. You're getting electrographed.
Yeah. What do you think about longs here on ES?
Yeah, I'm watching ES here at this level. I mean, it would have to be a scalp back. I personally am not going to take it because it would have to be a scalp back up to those highs. I think we just, I missed the great buying price. So I personally won't be looking to take it. But I mean, it's one that you could mark up and learn from, right? Maybe I can be in the next one.
Yeah. This is that same level that it just bounced off of. And then it has like, I don't know. It had a pretty instant reaction off of this area too again, but.
Yeah, it's definitely, as you said, definitely reacting at that level. We are at previous days high, so it makes sense.
Yeah. NQ still has to take, I mean, it doesn't have to do anything, but it still should take out the IB high here. But I don't know. It got really close and it kind of rolled. So I don't know if it's going to happen. But I actually, for the dashboard on the IB, I know I said this before, but I did not think that I would use the distance from high and low. But I actually really like it to understand, like, if I were to get long, what is my potential, like, what's the meat on the bone?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. It's like risk reward. You just could still come back down to opening range high, and then the move back to high is not that big, right?
I mean, dude, these
couple points.
It's just like
literally 5 points.
The level on ES is like just crazy. Like this 6992 area, like what is happening? Like again, we're already 7 points off that zone. It's just crazy. I have a question for you guys. Of all of the edgeful features, what is the one that you would not be able to live without? So like, do you prefer the screen? Like if there's only one, if you can only choose one, or if you had to get rid of one, what would it be? Like if you had to get rid of one, let me know in the comments. Would it be the screener? Would it be the what's in play? Or would it be the reports? Like which one, if you had to get rid of one, which one would it be? As is, in its current state, exactly as it is. Like you can technically look at the historical data through the what's in play, but only when it's setting up. But like, would you get rid of the screener? Would you get rid of the historical reports? Would you just want to be able to see the what's in play? Like what do you guys, I'm trying to understand like what you guys are using every day and like what is like, I can't live without this. Like without, if they remove this feature, like I wouldn't use edgeful anymore. Like, is it so the screener is the one, so I see Stowe's here. You're saying that you can remove the screener and you're still Yeah, and you have to have the reports and the what's in play. Yeah. Screener is the least useful. Okay. So just so you guys know, I'll explain the difference between the screener, and I figured that would be the answer. The difference between the screener and the what's in play is the screener provides context on the overall market. The what's in play is giving you the A+ setups for today on what you're actually going to trade. Again, the screener is a market sentiment bias. The what's in play is actionable on what exactly you're going to trade, when it's setting up, and what you should actually be doing with it. What's in play useful is what's in play. Okay, thank you. Yeah, can live without the screener. Okay, I cannot live without the reports. Okay, perfect. It's not as data driven with that. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so buy it, trade it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so the what's in play and the reports are obviously the two bigger ones, which I'm actually very happy about that because we put a lot of effort in making that what's in play better. I'm actually going to show you guys something quick. I'm going to show you guys. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, all good.
So it's actually pretty funny. This is what the what's in play used to look like. And honestly, not that great. We spent so much time and energy figuring out how the what's in play is going to work. And really the core problem that we want this feature to solve, which I think it does now, is we don't want you to have to figure out when every report is setting up on each ticker and what the data is on each report. So for example, I don't want you to have to figure out that NQ, like you can't memorize NQ, like as someone who's a regular user, right? You're not going to memorize all the reports, like we're not delusional. NQ had a bearish outside day. I need to go to, or for example, NQ opened below yesterday's low. I need to understand that that is the outside days report. That is a bullish outside day. And I'm going to go check the stats for bullish outside days on NQ. ES actually didn't open outside of yesterday's range. It opened inside of yesterday's range. What report is that? It's the inside bars report. I'm going to go check the stats on that. Plus gap down, plus whatever, all the other things. There's no way that you guys can memorize all that. And if you can, that's great. But it's just a lot of like a mental burden. So really the purpose of the what's in play was to tell you when the reports that you care about are setting up on whatever tickers you're willing to trade, and give you the A+ setups every single day on one page with all of the information you need from the report, the ticker, the percentage, all of the details as well, like the historical data and the live data on one page. And that's really the important piece. One page, everything you need immediately live, so you don't have to go and dance around the entire site.
Yeah. So just to button there quickly, Andre, NASDAQ and ES are coming back down now. This is a day where maybe I'm being aggressive. I might look for a short. I'm not going to do it because the screen is telling us that we need to be long by. So yeah. I'm actually just going to leave it alone and see what we do get later on in the day, personally.
Dude, are you gonna take a short trade after the stream?
No. Yes, on Friday the shorts were valid because the screener was telling us short and price action was doing so as well. Today yeah. I might be fat rest of the day, bro, unless another long sets up on a pullback. But I'd like a pullback on ES or NQ. ES would have to pull back for me to New York session VWAP, which would be at like 81, 981.
All right. Okay, we can wrap it up here. I'll stop sharing my screen here.
Yeah.
We can close up. I unfortunately didn't take those trades. They were 2 fantastic trades. Price is actually bouncing off that level again on ES. I'm not going to take this trade. I'm actually going to close my trading view for like the next 30 minutes to avoid me jumping into a long or a short. So just to kind of like reset and not be like, wow, I missed 2 perfectly A+ trades that would have made me a lot of money. Like, I'm going to close my trading view. And yeah, I mean, that's going to be it. And James and I will actually, James, you're not going to be here on Friday.
Yeah, I won't be on Friday. Sorry, I actually just messaged the team chat again. Sorry, telling Greg, Mr. Dubai, I won't be there. But I've got a wedding. But I will be around for the following week and the Monday.
All right.
So we'll stay in touch. I'll be in touch on the Discord too. Make sure you join that, and then we'll see you guys rest of the week for pre-markets and everything like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.